Hi, I'm Jonathan McHugh, and we are here live at the Guild of Music Supervisor Awards, 5th annual, I should say, at the Max Sennett Studios in Silver Lake, reporting for Grammy Pro and the Guild website. We have a Grammy nominee for a film under $10 million, one of my favorite films of the year, Jimmy, All Is By My Side. Chris Mollere, how are you, man?
Very good. How are you doing, man?
Good. So we did a screening with the Grammys of the film. When did it come out?
Came out just a couple months ago.
Come out a few months ago. And it's a really interesting piece because it talks about Jimi Hendrix before he really blew up, as he started to have success in England and right before he came over to Monterey Pop.
It was kind of the Jimmy Begins story.
Right.
So Jimmy, meeting these girls and these women, taking him to a place where, they gave him that hope and that kind of desire and that drive, and it kind of showed him who he was in the process and who he could be, where he didn't have the confidence to do it on his own. So it's very cool. I mean, it was a script that from the moment I read it, I was like, this is fantastic. So.
Right. And tell them who the script was written by.
Script was written by John Ridley. We know him best now for 12 Years a Slave, penning that fantastic script for the movie that he also won an Oscar last year for, and the film one also. And then, he's done Three Kings and multiple other films and TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's
and
an
the script
amazing
was
individual.
really smart.
No, he's a great dude. So.
Really smart. So talk about your music choices. Obviously, Jimmy, the Hendrix estate did not support the film, so it wasn't like you were using a lot of big Jimi Hendrix songs that he became famous on. But the blues stuff that he started on, talk about your choices on how you picked what to have Jimmy do in the movie.
Well, I mean, basically, when we started it, Jimmy was playing with Curtis Knight, and he was a backing guitarist. He was the lead guitarist in a band that somebody else is singing. Jimmy didn't think he had a voice to sing, and it took other people giving him the kind of confidence and kind of the push to, get out there, do something. He didn't want to go do that on his own. He was happy playing guitar. He didn't even have a guitar back then. He had to actually borrow Curtis's guitar. That's why I didn't want to leave the band. He's like, well, wait, I don't have a guitar, man, so I can't leave. Like, what's going on here? Like, no, I'm good. So he meets Linda Keith, who basically changes his whole perspective on everything.
Right.
And from there, introduced him to acid, but also Jimmy already loved Bob Dylan. And from there, from his hair to his music to everything. And Jimmy emulated him with his hair, as we can see, as he moved forward in his career a little bit. But even more so, his lyrics. I mean, he found a deep spiritual being within lyrics that Bob Dylan had already been doing, and this guy jamming to his girlfriend at the time was very much like, why are you listening to this white man with the crazy hair? Like, what's going on there? Like, well,
because he's good,
because he's badass. So,
talk about working with Andre 3000, who played. I thought he did an amazing job. He's not known as an actor. He's done a bunch of films. I worked with him on the HBO film he did years ago. But talk about working with him and the process of him learning to play left-handed like Hendrix.
I mean, Andre is one of the most fantastic people in the world. I mean, he keeps to himself. You never hear anything negative about him. Him out partying too hard or doing this and that. He lives with his son in Atlanta that he had with Erykah Badu's. It's Erykah Badu and Andre's child. But he loves his son, and he wants to hang with his son. He wants to, have a normal life here and there. But, as an artist, he's one of the most fantastic artists out there. I mean, Outkast, to this day, those records could come out today and still be like, they're still ahead of the time.
I got to tell you, I saw him at the Life is Beautiful Festival.
Sure.
I'd seen him at Coachella, and then I saw him at the Life is Beautiful Festival, and their set had gotten so much better. It was so good to see those songs
I think it was the chemistry between them finally came back. So I saw him at ACL, and I saw him down in New Orleans at Voodoo Fest. Right. And fantastic shows. I mean, I watched the Coachella one. It was like, okay, we just watched a really bad dress rehearsal.
Exactly.
But, no, fantastic. I mean, Andre went full method on his character. He spent every moment he had, trying to play guitar. I mean, when I actually read the script, I flipped a right-handed guitar left-handed, restrung it to see how hard it would be to actually learn how to play left-handed.
Wow.
Impossible.
Really?
Impossible. I mean, it's just not impossible, but that amount of work that it took Andre to go through and figure out how to play guitar or make it look like he's playing left-handed, I commend the man on doing that. But, I mean, in addition, he's acted before. But the thing I loved about this script for him was that he could legitimize himself as an actor. He could show his range. He could show that he can take on a persona and take on a character and just run with it and become that person. And I mean, there's times and pictures and scenes in that film where I'm just like, it's like you're watching Jimmy.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. So.
And also the producer of the film, Danny Bramson, one of the legendary music supervisors, one of the top guys in the game for years. Talk about the process of working with someone like Danny on this film.
Well, working with Danny was a dream. I mean, just meeting Danny was a dream. I mean, Danny's the reason I'm sitting here in this chair talking to you right now. Say Anything, Singles, Almost Famous, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
You name it.
You know, Vanilla Sky, introducing me to Sigur Rós. I mean, things like that. Or, you know, why John Cusack played In Your Eyes in the jukebox. Cameron wanted to play another song.
Some of the greatest, for me, I agree, some of the greatest film moments of all time.
Yeah, some
Danny helped
fantastic
bring
ones.
to the screen.
And, you know, such a loving human being, such an amazing person, and just, you know, and a great friend of mine now. I mean, it's one of those things we met, and, you know, he quickly told me, you know, after, I think it was a couple times in after we hung out, and he's like, "You're in trouble now." And I was like, "Well, okay, what'd I do? What'd I do?" He's like, "You're stuck with me for life." And I was like, "All right, I'm cool with that, man." We felt like just a bond and a vibe.
Right.
And he's just a fantastic human being in person, and, you know, fantastic friend.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
And a musical genius.
Yeah. He's an encyclopedia in the game.
Yeah, he knows music backwards and forwards. It was an honor to be in there with Waddy Wachtel and Leland Sklar.
That's right, you guys did.
Kenny, in, you know, just watching him be the maestro there with, you know, all of us working with Andre, and, you know, just figuring out how to record these pieces. And it was, you know, a special experience. So.
Now, you do a lot of TV too, right? How many shows do you have on the air right now?
4 TV shows right now on the air.
4 TV shows. Name them off.
Pretty Little Liars, The Vampire Diaries, The Originals, and Chasing Life.
That's a lot of material to be handled. How do you handle?
Well, we got picked up for more seasons on The Vampire Diaries, The
They just keep coming.
Originals. So we've got season 7 of The Vampire Diaries, season 3 of The Originals. We just got picked up a couple months ago for season 6 and 7 of Pretty Little Liars. So we finished season 5 on Friday.
Oh my God! So
And then Chasing Life got picked up too. So we're
talk
rolling.
about the difference of TV and film. How you, in the juggle of life that we have to do every day, how are those mediums different for you?
Well, I mean, TV's, you know, the timeline's a lot shorter. You actually know when it's going to air. You know, you're backed up against air date. You got to get it done. Films, they have sliding schedules up until when, you know, they get distribution, or the studio's like, this is the release date. So you have a little bit more time to play. And sometimes it's, you know, I love both. I mean, film and TV, they're both fantastic mediums to work in. I love working in both those. But, you know, it just matters, like, if you have a new song that comes out and you hear it, you know, if I heard a song today and I loved it for a scene in an episode we're currently working on, it'll come out in the next couple weeks.
Right.
It'll air in the next couple
super
weeks.
Quick.
Compared to if you have in a film, who knows what's going to happen in the next 6, 7 months, 8
Dude,
months,
I've been on the
something
same
like
film
that.
for 3 years now.
Yeah, no,
It just happens.
I'm on one. There's one that I'm still on 4 years later,
Right.
and I don't know if it's ever going to be done. It's going to be like, you know,
It's so harsh.
It's going to be like waiting for Guns N' Roses' next record or something like that. So,
Independent film, tough way to make a living.
yeah.
Anyway, Chris Mollere, nominee tonight, and hopefully winner. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I'm just honored to be like in the same group as everybody.
Yeah,
so.
no, the Music Supervisor Guild 5th Annual Awards. We're keeping it real.
Hi, I'm Chris Mollere, the film and TV music supervisor. You're watching Grammy Pro.